So
So what did you do and how did you get there?
yeah, so I mean, I tried a bunch of stuff for a little less than 2 years, maybe like less than a year of using some accountability software, and then like another handful of months doing like a app on my phone where I was like tracking my. I mean, that was a good one, but a bad one because it was like satisfying to see how many days
Mm,
you could go, and then all of a sudden you mess up and it's like you're devastated because you
right,
have all these like green checks, and then you have ruins your streak.
right.
So, but I had I don't know when I heard this message, but I heard a message by Corey Russell. Amazing guy. I really appreciate his content. And one of the things I heard him talk on, I think it was a YouTube video, was just like the power of a clean conscience. And I was like, that is what I want. My time where I would watch corn was essentially like at night before going to bed. And because it was like, no one's around, no one's gonna know about it. It's very, very secretive. And so, but that meant I would wake up in the morning knowing I'd messed up the night before, and I would wake up like in shame and just like, you go through all the things. Like anyone who's struggled with this knows that like just the weight it has on you, and you like, you go to church or you're around people and you just have this thing like looming in your mind like I messed up last night. I'm dirty, like I feel horrible about myself. Um there was still that, and I'm like, I just want to wake up with a clean conscience. Like I that's it. Like I want to wake up and feel clean. And so that was like something that really shifted for me, shifted like my mentality of it, was like, or the purpose behind what I was doing was like, I want to wake up and not be in shame or feel dirty or anything like that. And part of that was just like experiencing the pleasure of my relationship with the Lord. When you are walking in sin or you're habitually sinning, it really causes like a separation. Um, Not in like the literal sense, because we know nothing separates us from the love of God, but in the sense of like you feel like there's something that you've put up that's kind of blocking your walk with the Lord or your relationship with the Lord. Um, so to wake up and just feel clean and feel like there's nothing hindering that was like that would feel amazing. That was what I wanted. So I started pursuing that so I could experience the pleasure of.
Pursuing what? A clean conscience?
Yeah.
But through how? Like through what way? Spending time with the Lord?
Yeah, it was way more like organic. It was way more natural. It was not like a performance thing where I was like just trying to go a certain amount of days. It was just like not focusing on the number of times I would like mess up
Mm,
or watch it before bed or whatever. It was kind of a meter of like how much pleasure am I experiencing of God right now.
mm,
And so the longer that I would go without watching corn, it was like the more pleasure that I was experiencing because of my relationship with the Lord. And that pleasure started just becoming greater than the pleasure I would experience in
mm,
10, 15 minutes of watching a video and getting myself off and
mm.
then going to bed. It was like this other pleasure started becoming greater because it was pure, it was clean, my conscience was clear. And um so in terms of like what I was doing, like I really devoted myself to the word
Mm.
and spending just time. Like I started being a lot more serious about worship and prayer in the morning, starting my day with that. Yeah, I think, and then that really just propelled me, because I was experiencing so much like pleasure in that time, um, with the Lord, that I knew like at night, I'm like, I want to wake up and feel that pleasure. I don't want to wake up and feel in shame. I don't want to wake up and feel like dirty, because I won't. It'll ruin what I'm doing with the Lord. So that time with the Lord, that pleasure I was experiencing with Him of joy and peace, feeling clean, having a clear conscience just became way more valuable, pleasurable, um, than sin, you know? So, um, yeah, eventually it became, yeah, just further and further apart where I was falling back into sin. And it was not because I wasn't just trying to manage it. It wasn't because I was getting better at managing my sin. It was because I was experiencing God's pleasure. And it was just like, that is way more valuable to me than, you know, this fast food type of pleasure. So eventually, May of 2017, the last time I had ever watched it, the last time I had ever, done that to myself. And yeah, and I'm so happy that it wasn't because of a program or because I did some sort of 10-step process. It was like,
Which, yeah, there's nothing wrong if that's how somebody gets free, but
absolutely not. Yeah. I mean, if the important thing is freedom and not being addicted for sure. So there are many avenues to get there. But I guess, yeah, I feel really good about how I was able to enter into freedom. And I love encouraging guys in this, that it's like you are made for experiencing pleasure. And I think that's a lot of the difference in some of the programs or some of the teachings out there, is like your desire for to experience like pleasure is like a bad thing, right? And it's actually like God designed us that way. It's just misplaced. And so when we place that or shift that focus, or that, filling that desire for pleasure with God rather than something else, then that makes a huge difference, I think. Um, so yeah, that's kind of how, in a nutshell, there's a lot more details to the story, but yeah, of course, I love highlighting the end of the struggle and the addiction and the immorality I walked in for a long time, was really just like seeking pleasure that I was meant to get from God, from value that I was meant to get from God, acceptance.
Mm.
Um, so
I mean, if they're, if a guy, if you were talking to someone who said, I'm at the same place you were at the beginning of your walk with the Lord, as far as addiction goes, what would be your first thought to give to them, or what would your first piece of advice be?
yeah, I think there's a really big movement of this now, is like to making it really talkable. I think it's very important to know that 99.9% of guys have struggled with it in one way or another, and just to make it a conversation and to reach out to someone who you can trust to kind of begin the process of, because bringing it into the light is definitely the first step. I think as long as something is hidden or in the darkness, it's going to have power over you, right? So I think bringing into the light, no matter how scary it is just kind of it's something that you've just got to begin the conversation of
I mean, do
confession.
you have a suggestion of to who, or does it matter? Does it matter who they bring it into the light to?
I mean, it depends on the person. Like, I mean, if you're in a healthy community and you've got mentors or people that you would call like your pastors or whatever, then I would hope you'd have some sort of relationship with them. If you're, kind of isolated and alone, or if you're not part of a church, or if you are part of a church and there's not really anyone you can talk to, you can always reach out to me for sure. Uh, via our channel, or, post a comment, or, whatever that looks like. I'm obviously a source for sure. But yeah, I think it may, yeah, take some searching out of relationships. I think, like, if you really want to get free, it's very rare that you could do it alone, I think. And yeah, so opening that door to confession and
Mhm.
is kind of a huge step for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, I'm thinking so important because I know obviously a lot of the story and community and stuff that it's so important to find somebody who's going to actually respond pretty well to you and not make you feel more shame
Shame. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
by what you're doing. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it is important for people on both sides to know that it's got to be talkable. It's got to be something you can talk about. It breaks my heart when, people are shamed for it, because that's not God's heart. God is not shaming us for it. But he does want us free, and he wants to bring it into the light. So,
Yeah, because that was very evident in your story that seeing God's patient, loving faithfulness to just walk with you over years of time from getting saved to full freedom, that was how many years?
to full freedom, yeah, just over 6 years,
Yeah, and God
6 and a half
just I mean,
years.
he knew obviously, he knew what your struggle was, he knew the addiction, he knew to what extent, I mean, he knew it all, and yet he just faithfully and lovingly, patiently walked you through that and didn't give up on you.
Mhm.
That's the heart of the Lord, that's God's heart for how we are to walk with people through whatever they're going through.
Yeah.
So I think that was, yeah, really awesome.
Yeah, I think there's so many different paths of conversation you go down the road of like how to get free, and like I think there's a lot of different opinions on it. And I've definitely taken in the like pastorally, I've taken a couple different roads. One, the program, like the really in-depth program of like talking about it and like going, figuring out why you have these, you're believing these lies about yourself, and a more deeper dive into like almost psychology or therapy. So I've done that route where it's like takes a lot of work to really discover where these, habits or mindsets came in, and getting free like that way. And then also the opposite extreme of you just got to experience the love of God. Like I feel even with the more technical multi-step break habits and mindsets and get healed in your psyche and stuff, there's still the aspect of experiencing the love of God. Like you have to. If you don't experience the love of God, or if you don't know how much God loves you, that's going to be a major blocker to experiencing real freedom and lasting freedom too. Because you have to know you have Christ. Yeah, and some of those times where I had managed my sin for months at a time, I just didn't know who I was or like my identity in Christ.
Mhm.
And so turning back to that was really easy because it was
Right.
just like that was my comfort, and yeah, my identity was just like kind of all over the place at that
Mm.
point. So.
Yeah, so good.
What's up, everyone? Thank you for watching this video clip. If you liked it, check out more videos on our channel. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, get alerts for when we post new stuff, and we hope you stick around. God bless you guys.